Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors here at Trillium. There's been a reboot of an old series called The Odd Couple. And the TV series come from a movie, and the movie comes from a play written in 1965 by Neil Simon about these two guys, Felix Unger and Oscar Madison, who end up living together. Felix is this high-strung, neurotic neat freak, and Oscar is this easygoing slob. And they're put together in life. They're both divorcees. And it's called The Odd Couple for a reason. You got these two guys who are almost polar opposites, and yet they end up living together. And there's these wonderful, humorous scenes that come out of the war between the two of them. Because, see, they're involved in trying to impose their sensibility and their way of seeing the world on the other. You know, there's Felix trying to impose his neatness on Oscar, and Oscar trying to impose his slovenly slobbishness on Felix. And it doesn't work, of course. And I think the humor for us comes from the truth that we all live in odd couple relationships. I mean, have you noticed how people tend to be attracted to other people very different from themselves? People tend to marry somebody who's very different from themselves. We rarely seem to marry people who are like us. We go for the difference, and the difference is the joy. And yet, at the same time, deep down, we want them to be like us and to see the world the way we see it. And there's the dilemma in marriage and also the irony. And it's true in our sibling relationships. It's true as parent-child relationships. You know, my daughter Elizabeth, I bought her a beautiful hand drum, a kid's hand drum, a really good one, because I'm a hand drummer. And I play in the Funga Drummers, and I wanted her to learn how to hand drum. And she's never played it at all. I take her to workshops, she refuses to play it. She's off with the kids playing. Last time we went to a workshop, she's up dancing. She wants to dance. She loves the music. She wants to learn how to do African dance. She doesn't want to learn how to play African drums. I can't believe this. But Elizabeth and I are in an odd couple relationship, and a lot of parents have a hard time accepting this, that their kids are so different from themselves. It's true, as they say, with our siblings. It's true with our friends. Even kindred spirits, even Anne Shirley's kindred spirits in Anne of Green Gables, I'm sure deep down are odd couple relationships. It's true with the people we work with, and even the strangers we meet, of course. We live in these odd couple relationships. And this is a true element of life, and yet we resist it to the core. We want the world to see life the way we see it. We want people to conform to our expectations of how the world works. And it doesn't work that way. You know, when I was a kid, growing up, as a teenager at least, my brothers played AC/DC all the time. I hated AC/DC. How is it possible? We all came from the same family, from the same biology, and yet we have such disparate understandings of music. I banned AC/DC in my life. When wedding couples come and talk to me about services here at the church and what kind of music they can have, I say, you can have pretty much anything except AC/DC. I banned it out of my life. Except, problem is, there's millions of people who love AC/DC. As surprising as that is to me, it's true. And so we have to come to terms with, it seems to me, this odd couple world we're living in. And we can't ban everything that we don't like. And we can't ban people even that we don't like. Paul, the apostle, in his letter to the Corinthians, talks about this in a really profound way. He makes a commitment to understand the world around him first. Not to be understood first, but to understand others. He says, I'll become a Jew for the Jew and a Gentile for the Gentile. I'll become rich for the rich and poor for the poor. I become a servant of all in order to bring them into the knowledge of God's love for them. You know, there's a unity that we share in life. It comes from our source, that we're all children of God. And that love is the currency of our hearts at the deepest levels. We don't have to war on the surface of life. We don't have to war there. We war there because we're afraid that we're going to be isolated if others don't agree with us. That's ridiculous. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We simply have to come into touch with the source that makes us one with each other. I mean, there's Felix and Oscar. They battle it out in the movie especially. Lots of humor, lots of rejection, but in the end they come to an acceptance of one another. They've understood that they live in an odd couple relationship and that it's more important to understand others than to be understood. That is the source of salvation in their relationship. It's the source of salvation for the world. And I commit myself today to making the practice of understanding the priority of my life. Understand first, and then wait to be understood.